Stop scrolling right now because the mistake you're making in every squat could be sabotaging every rep you've ever done. You've been loading the bar, grinding out set after set, feeling that familiar click in your knee, and then wondering why the numbers never move. There's one hidden error that steals your power, hurts your joints, and you're probably doing it right now without even realizing it. Stay with me for the next 8 minutes, and you'll spot the flaw in the mirror, correct it, and add at least 20 kilograms to your next squat. Ready? I'm Alex, a certified strength coach and former powerlifting champion. Most lifters spend hours fixing depth, adjusting foot stance, or perfecting bar placement. But the real game changer lives deep inside the movement, hidden from the eye. In this video, we'll reveal the error, explain why it kills your lift, give you a 3-step fix you can do right now, and test yourself to be absolutely sure you've nailed it. First, let's call this the silent saboteur, the timing of your hip hinge. Imagine a split screen. On the left, you see a textbook squat, hips staying low until the knees pass the midpoint, then the hips explode upward. On the right, you see the hidden mistake. The hips start to rise the instant the bar passes the knees. That early hip rise shifts the load onto the lower back, robs your quads of their driving force, and leaves you stuck in the same weight for months. When the hips shoot up too early, the torso leans forward aggressively, and you feel that stretch in your lower back rather than the tension in your thighs. If you pause your squat video right at the moment the bar passes your knees, look for that subtle forward tilt. That's the telltale sign you're committing the error. Take a quick glance at your own squat footage right now. Do you see that early hip rise? Drop a in the comments if you do. Why is this a deal breaker? Because premature hip extension forces the lumbar spine into compression, dramatically increasing the risk of lower back pain. It also turns a powerful quad-driven squat into a deadlift-like movement, wasting the massive force your thighs could generate. Research shows athletes with this timing flaw lift roughly 12 to 15% less weight on average. I've seen elite lifters add 30 kilograms in a single session just by correcting the hip timing, and the same principle works for anyone willing to reprogram the movement. Now that you understand the problem, here's the 3-step fix to reset your hip hinge timing. First, set up a box or a bench at a height that forces you to sit back just a fraction before the bar reaches your knees. Second, practice the pause at midpoint drill. Descend, pause when your thighs are parallel, then drive through the heels while deliberately keeping your hips down until your knees clear the midpoint. Third, incorporate a tempo cue. Count a slow 2 seconds down, a 1-second pause, and a 3-second up, feeling the hips stay low until the knees are past the halfway mark. Perform this drill with an empty bar for 3 sets of 5 reps each session, and you'll rewire the neural pattern that tells your hips to wait. If this is blowing your mind, hit that subscribe button and let's keep digging deeper together. If you're still with me, let's lock in what you've just learned. The hidden hip rise is the silent thief that robs your squat of power, and the 3-step drill you just heard is your blueprint to reclaim that power. First, the box or bench cue forces you to sit back just enough so that your hips stay low until your knees clear the halfway point. Second, the pause at midpoint drill trains your brain to hold the hips down while the quads fire. And the third, the tempo cue, gives you a rhythmic anchor that keeps the movement pattern consistent. Now, picture yourself in the gym tomorrow. You load the bar, step under, and take a deep breath. As you descend, you feel the tension building in your thighs, and you consciously remember to keep the hips tucked until you hear the click of the knees passing the midline. You pause, feel the stretch, and then drive up, feeling the hips finally explode only after the knees have cleared. That moment of clean, sequential drive is the point where the squat transforms from a sloppy lift into a powerhouse move. Most lifters who have tried this routine notice 3 immediate changes. First, the lower back feels significantly less stressed because the load is now properly shared between the hips and the quads. Second, the bar speed on the way up improves, giving you a sense of momentum that makes adding weight feel natural rather than forced. Third, you start to feel a new level of confidence in the squat rack because you finally understand the timing that elite lifters have been using for years. Of course, there are a few common pitfalls you'll want to watch out for. One is the temptation to rush the pause. The pause is not a hesitation, it's a purposeful moment to reset the hip position. If you rush it, you'll still end up with an early hip rise. Another is letting the feet drift outward as you try to keep the hips low. Keep the foot placement stable and focus on driving through the heels and the outer edges of the foot. Finally, be mindful of the bar path. A bar that travels too far forward can pull the torso forward, encouraging the hips to rise prematurely. Keep the bar close to the midline of your body and imagine a straight line from the hips to the bar throughout the movement. To help you internalize this, I recommend filming yourself from the side for a full set of 5 reps with the empty bar, then watching the footage frame by frame. Look for the moment when the bar passes your knees and ask yourself, are my hips still low? Do I feel the stretch in my thighs or a pull in my lower back? If you catch any slip, pause the video, rewind, and try that rep again, this time consciously holding the hips down a fraction longer. Repetition with visual feedback is the fastest way to rewire that neural pattern. You might be wondering how long it takes to see real progress. In my experience, most dedicated lifters notice a noticeable improvement in squat depth and bar speed within a week of consistent practice, and measurable weight gains start to appear after 2 weeks of diligent drilling. Remember, the key is consistency. Even a short daily session of the pause at midpoint drill can make a huge difference over time. Think of it as a small investment that pays huge dividends in your overall strength and joint health. Let's talk about how this fits into a broader program. Once the hip timing feels natural, you can start layering on other squat variations, front squats, paused squats, and even heavy low bar work, knowing that the foundational timing is solid. The same principle applies to other lifts that rely on proper hip hinge sequencing, such as deadlifts and Romanian deadlifts. By mastering this timing now, you're setting yourself up for success across the entire strength spectrum. Before we wrap up, I want to hear from you. Have you ever recorded a squat and noticed that early hip rise? Did the 3-step fix change the way you feel under the bar? Share your experience in the comments and let's start a conversation where we can all learn from each other's breakthroughs. If you're still unsure whether you're doing it right, drop a question below and I'll reply with personalized tips. Finally, if this deep dive helped you see a new path to breaking through your plateau, consider giving the video a thumbs up. It tells the algorithm that this content is valuable and it helps more lifters like you discover the fix. And of course, if you want more science-backed strength insights, hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss a future breakdown. I'm excited to keep exploring the hidden mechanics that keep us all moving forward. Remember, the squat is more than just a test of strength. It's a lesson in timing, control, and body awareness. By correcting that hidden hip rise, you're not only adding plates to the bar, you're building a more resilient, efficient, and confident version of yourself. Keep practicing, stay patient, and watch the progress unfold. See you in the next video, and until then, stay strong and stay curious.